Hello guys, can you hear me? Hey guys, welcome to week 5. We are ready week 5 of our challenge Get Fit at Home. By now you should be experiencing all the good things about, eating healthy, exercising regularly. You're probably feeling more energy, more vitality, you're sleeping better, you're waking up fresher, you're feeling stronger, fitter. And that's the good thing about it, joining like a community like-minded like this, because we support each other, we give ourselves motivation to keep going. And week 5, guys, it is the most important, is where you have to power through to keep going. So what I want to share today with you guys is a continuation of our last week session, the food as medicine, which is one of my favorite subjects, and I teach that all around the world. So today we're going to continue our slides, so it's going to take less than 30 minutes, but it's very cool because I'm going to share with you guys other medicinal foods that are very important. So let me share my screen with you. Here we go. PowerPoint. Here we go, guys. So we're going to start with the good old carrots, okay? I like the carrots because, oops, rosemary came first. I like carrots because, first, it is one of those foods that kids like it. We grew up with it. It's very easygoing. You can put it on most foods. You can juice, you can graze on it, you can have on dips. What I like about carrots, guys, you have to understand it is one of the most nutritive, perhaps, vegetables. It is very versatile. It's fantastic for our skin, to protect our skin against sun damage. Okay, so remember, orange colors are the best foods to protect us against UV damage, because the beta carotene, which is in carrots, in watermelon, pumpkin, sweet potato, which gives that orange color, once it's in our body, it goes to our skin and lays pretty much on a subcutaneous fat there. When the sun hits, that reacts to beta carotene, producing vitamin A, but more important, that becomes then a powerful antioxidant and blocks the oxidative stress of the sun. So it's almost like our natural, sunscreen. So I like to eat a lot of carrots, especially during the summer, because then I go out, I get a nice tan. Okay, just remember that carrots or anything orange by color would give an excellent bronze look and tan. So if you want to get your tan on, eat more orange colors. But carrots, great source of vitamins, minerals, especially potassium, sodium, calcium, phosphorus, and sulfur. It is very good for anemic people. Okay, excellent for liver disorders. That's why when you have liver disorders, you recommend people to do like a carrot juice, celery juice, beetroot juice, and all those foods that are high in minerals, but also very detoxifying. But carrots definitely for the liver. It's an appetite stimulant. It's good for vision, infection, cough. It's a diuretic, and it's an antiparasitic, and very good for constipation. So if you are constipated, what I would suggest, grate some carrots, put on your salad, eat raw. It's fantastic. It gets your bowel movement very, very fast. Now, celery. You guys probably very used to celery because it's very popular in Australia. Not as much in Brazil, I would say so. But I'm a big fan of celery. I love munching on celeries. And what I believe celery, it is probably one of the best food to alkalinize our body. That's why there's the celery juice trend going on. People just juicing a bunch of celery and drinking first thing in the morning to detoxify, to alkalinize, to reduce inflammation. There's a whole book about it. So it's very good for you. I would say raw, it's excellent. Cooked is fine too. Add to soup, stir fries. I love it. It's great for the kidney. It's great for the liver, but especially for the kidney. And what I also like, it helps reduce fluid retention. So remember that if you're a bit fluidy, if you're holding some sort of fluid for many reasons, because you probably either constipated or taking medication or have your period, then you have a bit of celery juice or raw celery, or have a handful of celery as a snack. It is one of the best ways to reduce that fluid retention. Okay, but it's also very good for people that have anemia as well. Again, with carrots, that's why I pair up both slides, because carrot and celery goes really well as a celery as a sticks. You can dip on your superfood guacamole, and then you can have that as a snack. So it's excellent for anyone, for kids, and it's very affordable and cheap vegetables to keep in the fridge at all time. What I would suggest you guys to do is cut the celery in sticks and keep them in a container and put a lid on, and they'll last probably 4 or 5 days without getting any soggy or without getting dehydrated, because sometimes you leave open in the fridge and get really dehydrated. So cut it up, put it in containers, seal, and that will be pretty good for the whole week. Now, kale, the king of the brassicas, okay, the cruciferous vegetables. Kale, for you to have an idea, I think is the most ancient of all brassica. That's why the name is Brassica oleracea, because it's pretty much the father of cabbage, broccoli, cauliflower. The Egyptians used to consume a lot of kale for medicinal purposes, but it is a superfood for thousands of years. Look how many benefits is in kale, okay? It has indole sulforaphane, which is detoxifiers. You have carotenoids, again, which is really good for your skin. Look, 1 cup of kale has 10,000 units of vitamin A. That is huge. That is more than what you need in a whole week. So what I would suggest, definitely kale on your green smoothie first thing in the morning to alkalinize your blood, to detoxify, to get you a good bunch of vitamins. Look at that, vitamin C, B, all the B's, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 9, E, K, calcium, iron, potassium, phosphorus, zinc, magnesium, manganese, molybdenum, copper, and selenium. That is just alone is almost all the macronutrients that we need. And then it's rich in chlorophyll, which is great for anyone that has chronic disease, because it's a powerful anti-inflammatory substance, but increase apoptosis in cancer cells. So kale has been proven to be very good in treatment of lung cancer, stomach cancer, bowel cancer. So go for it, guys. If you feel like that you need a boost, kale, definitely it is the green leaf that you want to keep in the fridge. I think it's more than spinach. Kale is probably definitely the king. Okay. Now, rosemary. I love rosemary. The smell is good. It is, very nice in the garden. It smells the whole house when you're cooking. I grew up with rosemary, but some people find that rosemary is too strong. I would say yes, but make sure that you use it. You perhaps can get used to the flavor, the aroma, and start to use more and more, but definitely keep around, especially winter time, because it's very antibacterial. It's very antiseptic. It's great to kill germs. So if you're gonna do a soup, make sure you put some rosemary. It is fantastic to kill any sort of microgerms. Increase the blood flow of the head and the brain, so it's very good for memory. Okay, so that's why the Romans used to have a little sprig of rosemary around their ears here, because the rosemary has oils, and that goes infuse your brain and gives you nice, good memory, cognitive function. That was the Romans, the intellectuals used to have these sprigs around, because they used to believe that give them really good super powers of intellect. The good thing about rosemary is also enhance phase 1 and 2 detoxification pathway, which is excellent for your liver. Again, why not? Liver is an organ that works 24/7 for us. I would say help the liver out and give them a little bit of herb assistance that will give an extra boost to detoxify, to cleanse the system. Prevent arteriosclerosis and thrombosis. Decrease activity of peptic ulcer. So if you have peptic ulcer, you have gastritis, esophagitis, reflux, you have like, I eat something and burn my stomach. I would say rosemary, especially, the concentrate of rosemary to buy in health food stores. You can have that little bit every time before a meal, and that really helps the digestion. decrease histamine release. So you have allergies, if you have sneeze, if you feel like hay feverish, you could have some sort of rosemary, you know, on a liquid form where you can take it on a daily basis to reduce that allergy symptoms and the release of histamine, okay? And inhibit breast cancer cell formation. So here you go, guys. It is definitely one of those herbs that you keep in the garden and you never use because you don't know what to do. But here we go. Now you know. You can add to soups. You can add to broths. I make a miracle broth. I call it's packed with herbs, and I definitely put a bunch of rosemary and thyme, and it's the bomb. Now basil, basilico, Ocimum, basilicum. It is probably one of the most used herbs in cookery. I'm a big fan. I love the smell. I find it's the best smell when you're cooking something. It's very aromatic. It is feminine. It is aphrodisiac. It's well known for being aphrodisiac, but it's also very antibacterial. It's hypotensive, which will reduce blood pressure. So again, very good to combine with, you know, tomato. Tomato is good for the heart. You put basil, which is good with tomato. Then you put olive oil, which is good for the heart. Then you have basil, tomato, olive oil. Mush it together, make it the most amazing sauce, and you use that with whatever you like. You can put on top of potatoes. You can have a nice pasta if you're Italian. If you like on, you know, on the top of your vegetables. I like with zucchini. I do like a zucchini, tomato, basil, olive oil. Boom! It's fantastic. It's also very good for cholesterol modulation, inhibit peptic ulcers. So again, like rosemary, is very good for ulcers. Decrease insulin resistance. How good is that? Something that can reduce insulin resistance. A herb. That is awesome. So if you really think, if you want to eat pasta, you could put some basil there to help reduce insulin resistance. It's just an idea, but why not? Basil, pasta, tomato, olive oil, they go well, man. That's why the Romans kept basil around their gardens. They have basil every time. And, you know, it is one of the herbs that also assists the brain. Look, improve symptoms of dementia and Alzheimer's, and improve wound healing. So I would say planted in your garden, it is one of the most fast growing herbs of all. It's like a pest, it grows so fast. But I love it. I pick it every time and I put it fresh on the salad. On a salad is amazing. You just pick it, toss it on salad. And when I'm doing a stir fry, at the end of the stir fry, I chuck a bunch of basil and I toss it. Just at the end, it gets so much flavor. You get all the aromatics, and then when you eat it, all that is still smelling good. I can't even stop talking. My mouth is watering. It's delicious. Now, thyme. How about thyme? So thyme comes from the word thymus. Okay, thymus means the tomb, like the mummy. So thyme. It is an ancient herb from Egypt, and they used during the mummification process. So if you know the mummification process, it is a very complex process, but they use very complex aromatic oils, essential oils, to mummify and to preserve the corpse. So imagine 5,000 years the mummy preserved by oils, and then thyme is one of them. Imagine what thyme can do for you inside your body, to kill everything, to preserve your body, to give you antioxidants. It is, for me, in my opinion, personal opinion, of course, one of the best herbs of all. It is the most antiseptic and antiviral herb in the planet. It is fantastic. It's good for the lungs, good for asthmatic bronchitis. It's good for if you have really thick mucus, help decongest and expel that mucus. So perfect for winter time. I always keep a bunch of thyme in my fridge, and whatever I cook, I put a little sprig. It just tastes good, smells good, it's aromatic, it is fun. Most chefs use that for, you know, like marinating meats, but I like just on stir fry. I like with garlic, onion, sauteed things. It is seriously try thyme. If you never tried, it is one of the best herbs. Very easygoing, not going to be overpowered, and it's not going to be like rosemary that if you use too much can take over the dish. It's very gentle, It's very feminine, very good. So it's antiviral, antibacterial, antiseptic, good for the laryngitis, sorry, the larynx, and diarrhea. So if you have bad diarrhea, time, do a broth, have a little bit of a broth, lack of appetite, which increase your appetite, chronic respiratory problems. So use it, especially at winter time, especially around this COVID virus, because it's a powerful antiseptic and antiviral herb. Cacao, cacao, like the herb, okay? The herb, now the cacao, like the bird. Cacao, like seriously, this is my favorite thing to have in my smoothies in the afternoon as a pick-me-up. In the morning, I do a green smoothie. In the afternoon, sometimes I do a cacao smoothie with lots of cacao, and then I put water or almond milk, and then I put my vegan protein powder, I put bananas or berries, and blend it. Now, if you understand cacao, it's been used for perhaps over 2,000 years, but you know, the Mayans used to be the only civilization that commercialized cacao, and they used to believe cacao was so powerful that they made a whole coin system, which was their whole monetary system, okay, around cacao. So you could exchange goods for cacao because cacao was, you could trade it. They used to believe cacao was a food of the gods. No wonder why the name of cacao tree, Theobroma cacao, means bitter foods of gods. And you know, the Mayans used to consume up to 20 plus cups of cacao a day because they used to believe cacao is good for lifting your spirit, connecting to the consciousness, higher consciousness, connecting with the spirits, and it is one of the most perhaps stimulant foods. Okay, it's like caffeine, but it is the cousin of caffeine. So you have caffeine, you got theophylline, and you got theobromine. So they all, the alkaloids, they all good for the brain, center nervous system. They make you feel excited. That's why when you eat a lot of dark chocolate or good chocolate, you feel excited and happy and you dance, because it is food to lift your mood, your serotonin levels. It is fantastic. Good for memory, increased memory, cognitive function. Very good for the digestion because it's a bitter. So if it's a bitter, it helps digestive system. It is rich in protein, rich in carbohydrates and good fats. There is a lot of minerals, especially magnesium, which is good for your muscle and relaxation. And it's great source of vitamin Bs. So go for cacao, guys. It definitely is one of the easiest things to find in health food stores. A bag of raw cacao is different than cocoa powder. Cocoa powder is more like a roasted and processed, where cacao is natural, raw. Most of the time, there is no additive. So it's very good. More antioxidants, better for you. And you can add in smoothies. You can bake to it. You can do porridge. That's very nice mixed with oats in the morning, because it gets the oats, that dark chocolate. Imagine you're doing oats, berries, cacao. Then it's gonna be chocolate and berries together. It's like the bomb. If you feel cravings, you can do little energy balls with cacao. Have that in substitution of your chocolate. Or if you go to YouTube and find out some cool recipes on how to make your own homemade chocolate, you can use cacao as well and keep that in the fridge when you need it. Boom. Okay, chili. Chili, it is very polarizing. Some people don't like it, but a lot of Aussies that I met love chilies. Brazilians like chili too, depends on where you are in Brazil. But chilies are very popular in the South America countries, in Asian countries. It's probably one of the spices that are most utilized, like in India. When I was there, chilies everywhere. The chilies with their sandwiches is delicious. There's different size of chilies, different spices, levels. It's crazy. What I can say to you, chili increases circulation, especially peripheral circulation with your hands and your feet. Very good for your gastric system. It is a stimulant, especially for your metabolism. It's an antiseptic. That's why in a lot of countries, chili is used during marination process or with their food, because it helps conserve the food. Because again, it's an antiseptic, help kill all the bacteria and microgerms. It's a diaphoretic, means that you sweat. Woo, that's hot, and then you start to sweat. So it's very good when you feel a little bit cold, like you're breaking a cold. You feel that you need to bring some heat. Put some chili in there, have some soup, put some ginger, put some like garlic, onion, bring that heat back, especially if you have been around wind. Okay, so a lot of wind, it gets cold, you need to bring the heat back. So you put ginger, garlic, onion, which is all warm foods, and then you put a little bit of chili to spice it up. You're gonna bring the heat to the lungs and you shall feel a lot better. It's an analgesic. Analgesic means help reduce pain, especially if you're using creams. There is a lot of chili creams which is used in the joints for arthritis, pain. I have that at home. I put on my back when I feel really bad. And man, I wake up in the middle of the night like my back's on fire, but it really helps to reduce the pain and access that circulation on a peripheral area, which then helps the body signal pretty much all the nerve endings to pretty much help to heal. So chili, it is great. All right, it's an antibacterial, it's a great source of capsaicin, which is a phytochemical responsible for the burning sensation. So that's why chili burns, because of the capsaicin. So that's what they use in creams, that capsaicin mixed with other things, and they put it in ointment or in a cream solution where you can rub around your wrist. Just make sure you wash your hands every time, guys. Don't do the mistake of, you know, manipulating chili and then like putting your eyes and hands in your eyes. Trust me, I've done that before. Hurts like hell. All right, cinnamon. So cinnamon is very, very good, very popular, very feminine, very nice with porridges, with desserts, with curries. It's like so nice. Cinnamon, I would say, especially now during the winter time, you can put on pumpkin, you can put on anything. It tastes amazing and enhanced sweet flavor. So that's why cinnamon is always welcome with sweets, because it enhances that sweetness. It gives a lot of aroma. It is warming, it's carminative, it's anti-diarrheal, anti-emetic, it's antimicrobial. So come on, you can't go wrong with a bit of cinnamon on your porridge. Put a bit of cinnamon with your latte, with your chai, with your Indian curry, which is great. With anything, even marinades. There are some crazy marinades with I learned with cinnamon and, you know, star anise and juniper berries. It's fantastic. Okay, now Himalayan salt. There is Himalayan salt and Celtic salt. We're gonna go Himalayan first. The pink salt, very famous, very pop. You know, that's the #1 probably salt in health food stores. It's very rich in minerals. The color pink is basically because of iron, but then you have also sodium, very, very high in sodium and chloride. So basically Himalayan salt is a lot of sodium and chloride, and there's other things like iodine and potassium. It's great for, you know, create electrolyte balance. It also increase hydration, especially if you put salt with water. It helps balance the pH and is very good to regulate blood pressure. Now, I like Himalayan salt, but my favorite, to be honest with you, is Celtic salt, because it is the gray salt. It is an ocean-based salt, okay? So different than the rock salt, which is Himalayan. One is rock, one is ocean. I like both, but I use a lot of Celtic because it is higher in potassium, lower in sodium, very rich in microminerals because come from the ocean. Look at that. Bromine, strontium, fluoride, and other trace minerals that you don't find sometimes in the soil, because the ocean is different. So I would say have a bit of both. Have a bit of Celtic salt in your water. Have a bit of Himalayan salt on your dressings on top of your food, because Himalayan is a lot easier to work with, where the Celtic is really kind of humid and sometimes it's quite tricky. So I like to use Celtic salt in the water, in my soups, in my cooking, where the Himalayan salt, I'll just sprinkle on the top if I need it. But again, assist the regulation of blood pressure, dissolves and help eliminate toxins, and increase hydration. So salt, it is very important for your overall health. Don't forget that. Salt is not bad for you. I think refined salt and excess of salt can be bad, but in moderation, good salts are actually perfect, very good for your overall health. It's proven to be one of the things you can't live without it. You can't live without salt. Okay, so salt is part of our body. So just make sure you have good quality salt. That's all. So here you go, guys. that's enough for now. I teach you guys a little bit more next time, but for now, you probably got most of the benefits of food as medicine. I would like to be, you know, explaining more and more for you guys, but I have created this slides in a way that give you a lot of information at once. So I'm sure you guys, your brains are already turning over and thinking all of that. So for now, it is enough. Thank you very much for another grateful session. And I hope you see again strong next week. Thank you. Bye-bye.